It's Friday the 23rd of September 2022. It's launch date for the new Apple Watch Ultra. Is this the beginning of global domination for the sports watch industry for Apple? Stay tuned and listen to all the way through to the very end, where there'll be a challenge for you, and also I'll be talking through some facts, figures and history, because as we all know, history often has a way of repeating itself. But before I go into the detail of the facts, figures and history, and I am at a very historic location for this day, yes, more details to follow. Thanks to all of you who watch my previous videos, and I don't normally do these types of reviews, and the wonderful comments that you've left. I've done this video based on what you've said and the comments that you've left on the previous video, and I would love for you in this video to also leave comments. And the comments that I'm looking for is, have you got the new Apple Ultra watch? Leave it in the comments below. Tell me your initial thoughts about the watch. But also, what I'd like to hear from all of you, whether you have the watch or not, is what's your number one or top three features that you find important for a sports watch? Leave it in the comments below, and please do hit this video for a thumbs up, subscribe and hit the alarm bell, because it really does help support my channel in a big way. Thank you all so much. I would love to really hear from you in the comments below, and I'm here right now because it is a point in history, and I thought I'd come to somewhere where on this very day 380 years ago was the first skirmish of the English Civil War between the Royalists and the Parliamentarians, and that was just a little skirmish. And as with the battle of the sports watches, some people may win the battles, but who's going to win the war? I believe, who knows, with what some features, if Apple add that, they could go on to win the war. They're still losing the skirmishes because we know that one feature that they're missing, yes, battery life. I know, even DC Rainmaker done a whole video on the battery life and how long it lasts in GPS mode, because the word ultra is we want to do ultra distances, ultra fitnesses. But are Apple targeting that market, or are they looking for something completely different? Let's talk more about the launch of this amazing new watch. Yes guys, the history part of this video, the Battle of Powick Bridge was right here on this bridge, the 23rd of September 1642. That's right, 380 years ago. And the outcome of that initial skirmish between the Royalists and the Parliamentarians was the Royalists won. But we know what the outcome of the English Civil War was. Yeah, that's right, the Parliamentarians won. So is it history going to repeat itself here, where the skirmishes that are going on in this smartwatch industry right now, or should I say more to the point, sports watch, because some of the watches aren't that smart, is that there may be skirmishes going on, but long term, what's the battle going to be? And are companies like Apple, that already dominates in certain areas, are they going to be interested in this market? I think the noise is with the changes that are coming on and the additions that are coming on board to tackle that feature of the battery issue is coming on stream. But on a glorious sunny day here, I think when you look at the other watches that are out there with the solar glass on lovely hot sunny days like now, they measure their performance of battery in weeks, whereas at the moment Apple measures in hours. As we all know, history has a way of repeating itself, and I have a little mini challenge at the end to keep you enticed, yeah, because I think this will be an interesting challenge based on some of the features that various watches have, and also maybe for those of you who do have an Apple Ultra watch to test out. Yeah, history has a way of repeating itself, and some of the comments I was getting from you amazing guys, and I hope you've left the comments below on this particular video, as I'm here in beautiful Worcestershire on Powick Bridge, is that we know there's lots of what I call incumbents, you know, the big corporates that have been there for many years and have dominated, and along comes someone else, and it may be another big corporate but new to that market, or it'll be an upstart. Yeah, we all remember Microsoft Explorer. They dominated the internet browser, and then along comes Google. Boom, where's Microsoft Explorer? Gone. Yeah, and those of you did leave you examples as well of how Apple tackled a certain area of the market where they had no experience of, and that was the actual iPhone. Yes, I know, just like one of these I've got here. Do you all remember the history of the iPhone? Yeah, I vividly remember the history of the iPhone. At the time, I've been working in tech for many years, and at the time I was working with a mobile phone company, And we all know who the dominant force was back in the early noughties, you know, in the 90s and so on. It was that company called Nokia. They had over 90%, in fact it was alleged like 95% of the market they held, yeah. So when the first iPhone came out, barely a dent. Second iPhone, barely a dent. And then the third one came out, boom, it absolutely took off. Now, where do you see Nokia? There may be the odd phone or two, but it doesn't really exist. The dominant force is Apple. And are they going to do the same here with their sports watches? You would have noticed I've already said sports watches, because some of the comments you guys left about what's a smartwatch, what's a sports watch, I would say with Apple launching this Ultra, and there was a debate, I did see one video, were they going to call it the Pro? Because you've got the MacBook Pro, you've got the earbuds Pro, you've got this Pro, but they've deliberately not gone with the Pro name, in my opinion. They've gone with the Ultra name because they want to take on ultra running market, yeah, where it's all about distance, time, and that. And now I know for most of us, including me watching this, we have no interest in ultra running. We won't be doing any ultra running. We don't need to go out for 24 hours, 40 hours, 100 hours on our feet, so that we're not target market for that. But by taking on some of the other features that it's looking to bring on board, I believe there may be some more watches coming out in the same way with the Series 8, which is remarkable, half price compared to the Ultra. Or could you say the Ultra is twice the price of the other watches? Will there be more different additions to the Ultra? Could there be Ultra 1s, Ultra 2s, Ultra 3s, and so on and so forth, in the same way that Garmin has a whole multitude of sports watches. Now, why did I use Nokia as an indicator of how Apple literally destroyed the incumbent and took over as the major force? I'm not saying that they're going to do that with the sports watch section of the market, but who knows? All we know that is that when you look at the other watches, and I have a Garmin myself, is the thing that wins over in terms of Garmin and the other watches is the battery life. That's all Nokia had on Apple with the actual iPhone. So the iPhone, we know every time the battery never really lasted, but people weren't that interested in it. They were happy just to charge it up whenever it was needed because they wanted the apps. Nokia didn't do that. So is there something here that Apple's going to bring along that people will want more than that is actually more important to them than the battery life of the watch? So as I stand here with Powick Bridge behind me, a moment in history back in 1642, is today, 2022, going to be another moment in history? Yes, the Apple Watch has some amazing new features that they've added within the OS 9. Also, the dual frequency GPS that makes it more accurate is going to be a bonus for some people, but there are known bugs already being identified, and I know DC Rainmaker talked about that, and they have said that Apple are aware of these bugs where it seems to lose tracking. So it seems to lose something at certain points, but they are working on that. And there is the new feature where they will be increasing the battery life. But to me, the number one feature, if they were to do this, I don't know whether they will or won't, or whether they can or can't, and that is solar glass. That one feature, if Apple add that to their sports watches, is that the end of the competition? Because when you look at the operating system and everything that it does, it is in another league compared to the current sports watches. But then, is that important enough for those who are currently using the other sports watches to migrate over to Apple? Only time will tell. Yeah, time will tell. And speaking of time, let's take you over to the challenge I was talking about. And I said I want to hear from you in the comments below. What are your top features, and do you have the watch at the moment? So let's take you over to what the challenge is. The challenge, guys, in a similar way where DC Rainmaker took his watch over some amazing trails across the Alps, the challenge for you guys, I'm at a start of a very monumental route path, because as well as this is where the first skirmish between the Royalists and the Parliamentarians was, it was also where the war the English Civil War was lost, where Charles II was finally beaten by the Parliamentarians, and this is where he started his getaway. Yeah, it's called Monarch Way. Monarch Way, that's right. And do you know how far this Monarch Way is? Basically, Charles II took a very elongated route to basically exit out of England and to make his getaway to France. So he'd left here in Worcester and followed quite a route where it was through going north into Shropshire area and then coming back south and then around the Cotswolds, down through Wessex and then back to the coast and his getaway. But it's the distance. The distance is 615 miles. So is anyone up for the challenge of walk, hike, bike, run, whatever you want to do it, 615 miles of Monarch Way, starting here, because today, 23rd of September, yeah, is a history point in my opinion. Anybody want to take on this challenge and see how far your Apple Watch Ultra lasts along Monarch Way? Just a little bit of fun. Look forward to hearing from you. Leave it in the comments below. I hope you found this video useful, informative in some way, and I do love the comments that I get from you guys, and I do my best to respond to all of them if I can. Yes, so leave your comments below. It's been great putting this together and being here at Powick Bridge on this momentous date in history on the 23rd of September 2022. Hard to believe that 380 years ago there was this skirmish between the Royalists and the Parliamentarians. But I'm done on my part of history. Who knows if history will repeat itself? So whilst the skirmishes can go on around and around, is who's going to win the war. See you all soon. Thank you. Peace out. Take care. So the challenge, guys. Ooh. Where it seems to lose tracking at certain points, and as the traffic arrives here, more than is important to the actual get my words out, that is I should check really without dropping my phone what the date is. Friday the 23rd of September. It's Friday. And for those who are interested, there will be an anniversary of the skirmish here at Powick Bridge. So you can come along here, Powick in Worcestershire, to see the reenactment.